How fantastic is that? This has been all over Europe in recent weeks. This Silver Shadow 1. Ooh. Twin SUs. In a few years since I've seen that out and about. Off goes the Escort, and off goes the Riley. Well, morning folks, it's another day and we are back at the Old Piggery Cafe just outside of Combermere estate, and we thought, well, we'll bring the Dodge because it was exactly 1 week ago that we had our fail to proceed moment at the Royal Oak when Matt's carburettor threw a bit of a wobbler here on the Dodge pickup and we had to get the AA out. So this is the first Combermere meeting for several months. The last one that was held here was so popular that we've decided to introduce a bit of a criteria, and the criteria for today's meeting is PRE-1990. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what cars turn up today. The weather forecast is okay, so that may put off a couple of people, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, we thought, well, we'll bring the pickup and see what turns up. I was planning on possibly going down to Gaydon, the British Motor Museum, today, because there's a big classic lorry meeting taking place this weekend, so I had thought of going down there for that. But when I heard that this was going to be on today for the first time in a few months, I thought we really need to support this. So we dug out the pickup and here we are.
Yeah, it goes like that, the material's old.
Porsche 914. TR4A arrives, and what do we have there but a Wolseley 1500 in very fetching two-tone paint job as well. Very nice indeed. Fairly early one with the small front side lights.
They're letting them fight themselves up, aren't they?
What do we have here? A lovely pre-war Riley. How fantastic is that? I think that's a Riley Lynx, but I could be wrong. Wow, that's a proper oily ragger. What a great old car that is. I love the diamond shaped windows in the back of that hood. No missing this fantastic Mini on a slightly gloomy overcast day. Mark 1 Fiesta Super Sport. Cadillac. Somewhat modified Jaguar. Very swish looking car.
Left hand drive.
Mini followed by Renault 5 GT Turbo. Toyota Supra. More arrivals. This very well travelled charity drive, Austin A35. This has been all over Europe in recent weeks, down to Switzerland, France, Germany, followed by an MG Midget from 1966. And a very fruity sounding Lancia Fulvia front wheel drive V4. The Wolseley's going already. Wow, very Very nice too. Beautiful Rolls-Royce gliding in. What a fantastic car that is. I love the fuel filler cap on it. Looks like a really nice quality detail, that. Much as I like the varied meetings that we've had before, it is nice to see purely old cars here today. Yeah, got a TVR, one of the S-Series TVRs. And what do we have here? Hillman Imp, very nice too, slightly lowered on wider steel wheels. We like that one a lot. So we decided this is based on a mini estate because of the hidden door hinges to which the Wolseley front end has been applied. It's on a 65 registration. Oh, what a great little car that is. Or van rather. Minis and mini variants are well represented here today as that fantastic little Wolseley Hornet supercharged by Mercedes SLK. What I'm noticing is we're getting quite a few cars that haven't been here at all before, including this Silver Shadow 1. And in fact, this Daimler, is that a DB18 perhaps? But again, we haven't seen this one here before, as far as I'm aware. So that is really, really encouraging to see these new cars coming out. I spin round to capture a lovely Jensen Interceptor, followed by MGB GT. So yeah, so this is really encouraging to see some really nice old cars turning up for this meeting here at the Old Piggery Cafe. A very purposeful sounding TR6. Fantastic Porsche 911 Targa here. Let's go and have a look around and see what is here so far. So we're obviously here in the 47 Dodge. There's the Escort 1600 GT, the Mexico. Great looking car next to a TR4A from 1966 that we see here and there at some of the shows that we get to. The Surrey roof with the centre panel removed. Got some high back, slightly later seats in this one for a little bit of added comfort and safety, I guess. Very nice too. If you've got an early Spitfire, you might recognise that windscreen surround. This fantastic little Hillman Imp, subtly modified, slightly lowered. Rear engine, of course, built up at the Linwood in Scotland. I like that radiator transfer in the window. That's a really nice detail, and devil is in the detail. There's the Fiesta, the Super Sport, quite a rare car now, Grantham Motors supplied. Very nice too. And here's this pretty wild Cadillac, and I must admit I don't know a great deal about this. Cadillac Alante. Well, that's a real oddball. You don't see many of these around. Look at that dashboard. Many, many buttons. Of course, that would just be one touch screen now, but back in the 80s, buttons were all the rage, and the more buttons you had, the more expensive the car. Left-hand drive. Oh, always good to see these unusual cars. And what about this Jaguar here then? This looks particularly purposeful with those huge centre lock wheels on it, on an F plate. So this is, well, isn't that fun? Look at the size of the boots and the wheels on the back of that. It's really, really nice, and the hardtops always suit the E-Type roadsters, I think. I love the riveting on the back wings here. And the huge filler cap, quite a large diameter. The idea being that you could fill that up really, really quickly, get a huge volume of fuel in there very, very quickly during a race. And that is a cracking looking car. I bet that sounds good on full song. A couple of pipes there, stainless steel pipes sticking out the back. Left-hand drive. Very cosy cabin on one of these. It's got a couple of stopwatches in the middle. I don't know if you can just about see those. Yeah, very nice indeed. Next to that, very similar colour, the Renault 5 GT Turbo. Of course, the original Renault 5 Turbos were the mad Turbo 1 and Turbo 2s, the sort of mid-engine cars. The engine was behind the seats, but these have the engine at the more normal end, turbocharged of course. So yeah, a bit of a pocket rocket, these ones, a rival to cars like the Golf GTI and such like. Well, you never seem to see as many of these around. I think that by now most of them have been put through hedges, so they're few and far between really. A very sharp Supra, we have seen this one here before I believe. Again, lovely bright red colour scheme on this one. Could just see something else pulling in. Morgan. It's a magnificent Rolls-Royce. What a beauty that is. There's just so much detail to take in on cars like this. Presumably the JB on the front bumper there is for Jack Barclay, the very famous dealer down in London for Rolls-Royce and Bentley motor cars.
Well, I've got a friend of mine who...
Right, so we're going to have a closer look at this phenomenal Riley, and we have tracked down the owner of it, and he's going to give us a bit more of the lowdown on this amazingly original car. So it is a Lynx then?
It is a Lynx, 1934 Lynx.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
British and Colonial Motors.
who were based in Covent Garden in London.
One new Riley 9 Lynx model Tourer, colour maroon. Yeah, we've still got that. Black wheels and wings. What's that? Complete to maker's specification. Wow. Isn't that fantastic?
So the interesting bit is if you have a look at the back, unusually he paid with a cover. Now, old financial terminology, but is it £1?
So is that cover as in insurance or?
No, the actual boot cover.
Oh, it's a boot cover, is it? Oh, right.
Very few.
Oh, I see, right. Oh, it's got the cover over the wheel. Oh, very nice. How has this survived like this? It's just phenomenal, isn't it? And I love these. I love the fact that the original hood's still on it.
The original
hood.
hood.
It's just incredible. Yeah, that is just amazing condition, isn't it?
Well, it came out of London in '81. The chap who bought it took the vehicle to his parents.
Yeah.
Put it in the garage, intended to come back and drive it to his home address. Cold evening, and came back to a cracked block.
Oh, so when would that have been?
That was early 80s.
Right.
So it spent 40 odd years sat in a garage.
Did it? It's surprising how time passes, isn't it?
Until it went for sale in 2019. So
so good that it hasn't been sort of fully restored cosmetically, is it?
Yeah.
So presumably mechanically it's all sorted.
it is now. The chappie over there did the engine. I've had a look at the engine, but the engine's quite interesting because it's
All right.
it's.
Let's have a look then, shall we?
These cars, it's not the original engine.
Right. So we've still got the pre-selector.
Pre-selector.
Yeah. Very nice too. Bonnet's going up. Wow, isn't that great? What a bonny little engine that is.
So that's come out of a Merlin, which is
Right.
probably 12 months older than this. So you can tell that because it's got an oil filter.
Oh, I see. Right. So you got the twin little SUs.
Yeah.
Sort of, is that even inch? I don't know. I'm sure they're quite small, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you got the Scintilla Vertex Magneto for the Spark.
Yeah.
Tiny little twin cam. What sort of capacity is it then? Is it just over a litre or?
Well, I think they made 2.
Did they?
So they made a litre and 1500.
Right, got you.
So I'm not entirely sure what that one is, if I'm honest.
Right. Yeah, so it's got a little SU electric pump on it.
Yeah. Which was original.
Was it? Oh, I know Morris has used a lot of those. Yeah. It's just such a time warp car, isn't it? It's just incredible. You know, so many of these have been either chopped about, made into specials, or over restored. But it's just so nice to see one that's, you know, you can point to that paint and say that's the same maroon that's in the original invoice there. But
Yeah.
and I love the fact that you've got diamonds all over the place, echoing the shape of the Riley badge. You've got Riley in the headlights. You know, all sorts of even the chassis plate. What a fantastic car that is. Super cosy in the back there, room for 4. Yeah, what a great old Survivor that is. Let's just go and have a quick scoot round here, just so we don't miss anything out. Again, the diamonds in the rear window shape there. Yeah. What a fantastic Survivor that is. You've even got a hint of the diamond shape in the louvers set into the bonnet side panels. That is just incredible car. It's going to take some topping as the car of the meeting for me, that one. It's something that started out as a Ford Model Y, I suspect, and again a car we haven't seen anywhere before. That certainly looks like a bit of fun.
Yes, we do.
Right, so where were we on our little walk around? Well, bonnet is raised on the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 1. The mighty 6 3/4 litre Rolls-Royce V8 engine there, fed by 2 SU carburetors. A magnificent engine that is, produced for so many years and featured under the bonnet of so many Rolls-Royces and indeed the related Bentleys. Okay, here's that Porsche 914, left-hand drive. I think they all were, weren't they? Engine hung out in the middle here. There's a little flat 4, I think these are. There was a 6-cylinder version available. I think this is a 4, and it sounded really sporty when it came in. Great looking car. Door handles reminiscent of our MX-5, which of course is a bit too late for this particular meeting, because like I say, this is pre-1990, and I'll whisper it, I think it's a little bit better for it as well. I'd rather see fewer really interesting cars. Myself, I know everyone's different, everyone's got a different take on it, but that's just me speaking personally. And this fantastic Daimler, what a beauty this is. Straight 6, fluid flywheel, pre-select the gearbox, very similar arrangement to that in the Riley Lynx just down the way there. Yeah, I'm sure we haven't seen this one anywhere before. So hopefully this meet, I mean obviously the criteria for these meets is going to change month on month, but the pre-90 I'm sure will be a regular occurrence, and hopefully that will encourage other eligible cars like this fantastic Daimler to make a trip over here to just on the outskirts, just outside the main Combermere Abbey estate. There's the pre-selector gear change lever on the side of the steering column. Yeah, what a magnificent motor car that is, just post-war. So what's that, early 50s I'm guessing. Ooh. Another huge V8 engine on display on this Jensen SP. Big Chrysler V8 there. We saw the Jensen SP and the MGB GT here only last weekend at the Royal Oak, when we had our failure to proceed moment. On the end of the row here is this much modified Ford 8 based on a 1934 Ford Model Y. Wow, quite a lot's gone on with that one. I've not seen that one anywhere before. And here's a very smart Peugeot 205 GTI, the 1.6. Slightly smaller diameter pepper pot alloy wheels on these compared to the later 1.9s. Very clean inside as well. I think it's fair to say a lot of the trim in these 205s wasn't the most hard wearing, so that is probably one of the greatest challenges if restoring a tired example of one of these. So it's always great to see a nice one at the meetings that we get to. Okay, I think we've done most of this row, so we'll just scoot down here, and I've seen a few cars are parked up over the back there while I've been talking down here, so let's go down and have a proper look at them. Ooh, bonnet's up on the Jag now. Let's have a quick peek under there. Ooh, very nice too. Triple SU carburetors on the other side there. The bonnet's up on the Caddy as well. Ooh. Oh, a real variety here today. MGA. Right, let's carry on down. Ooh, bonnet up on the Mini. Twin SUs. It's for sale apparently. Just carry on down here, past the little Wolseley van, 911, and this fantastic Di Tommaso Pantera. That's a nice early one. The later ones have much bigger wings and bulky wheel arches and everything on them, but this is a fantastic one from about 1971. What a great looking bit of kit that is. So 70s, the colour. Sometimes you see Lamborghini Miuras and they're very similar colour to this. Power by Ford. The Alfa Romeo Alfa Surd alongside the TR6 that we saw playing before. Let's go and have a close look at that TR4A over there. I do like old two-seater sports cars on the old tin wheels, the old steel wheels, not wires. There's nothing wrong with wires or midnights, but I do like old steel wheels and the old hubcaps. Another beautiful car. There's the incredible droop snoot Vauxhall Firenze, 2.3 litres, alongside quite a late example of the MGA with the recessed grille, which is a sign that you're looking at a fairly late example, produced not long before the MGB took over. 1622cc B series engine under the bonnet of this. Note, no exterior door handles on these. So if you wanted to get in, you'd probably have like on the hood, you'd have like a little flap, and you'd put your hand in. The door handle, there it is, down there I think. Oh, very sleek looking car these. It's got the later backlights as well.
Mum and Dad and his younger sister.
There's one we need to remember to go to. So there are quite a few A-Series power cars here today, including the Wolseley there, and the little A35 charity run car is up and running as well. How cool is this?
We feel like winter, but yeah.
There's this incredible little A35 raising money for the Northwest Air Ambulance charity. Now I know this is a well-travelled A35 after several years out of action, so what's the story with this over the last few weeks? Where have you been?
Last few weeks we started in Namur. We drove to the start line in Belgium, Namur, then we went down through Luxembourg, through Germany, over the Gothard Pass, down into Italy, then into Monaco, where we did a couple of laps of the...
Did you?
Yeah, we got videos of it going around. It was brilliant. We went Casino Square in Monaco, and the finish line for the rally that we were on, which was run by Bust, was in Nice, and then that left us on the wrong side of France. So then we spent 2 or 3 days day after day, 12, 14 hours in the car at top speed of about 40 miles an hour to get back home. And she's back home.
So what sort of prep did you have to do to it after you found it? Yeah.
Well, there's a bit of body work which we got.
It's had a lick of paint.
It's had a lick of paint. That paint is hand painted with a roller.
So the blue's the original.
The blue's the original.
There,
the engine sees, so we had to do the engine. Then we put a different carburetor, put a nice single SU on rather than the little Zenith that was on it, and a different manifold. It's got a different exhaust manifold. The exhaust is now a side entry exhaust, as you will see there.
Oh yes.
Which isn't a great idea, because when you open the window,
a bit fumy.
Very fumy and very noisy.
Pull up windows as well. No wind up windows in these, was there?
No. It was death for 2 days when we got back.
That's fantastic. That is. So where had it been prior to you buying it? Had it just been?
We found it off eBay. It was on the back of a trolley. We went up there and we looked at it. It looked great on the eBay. We got up there and I said walk away, because I did. Obviously, me and Paul did this with a brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And I said walk away, and he said no, it'll be all right. And since then we've just been throwing money at it. I think it's worth about £2.50, and I think we spent about 10 grand on it.
What a story though, isn't it? It's fantastic.
So, it's a fantastic journey.
So will it be out again doing similar in future?
Well, we're thinking about it now. We just got back, so we're just considering what to do. But yeah, we're thinking of our next adventure, but this will stay with us now. It'll go in the garages. Nothing's it'll be as is.
It's unique now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a great story behind it.
It's part of the family now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's phenomenal. So how much do you think you've raised for the air ambulance so far? Do you know yet?
We don't know the final figure, but we're hoping to be about £3,500 in total. So yeah,
brilliant,
people have been very generous, and we got £1,000 off one person just because no one thought it was possible to get it back. So they said if you get it back, they'd done that amount of money. So
fantastic.
That was a singular.
Well done for.
Yeah, he
doing it in this little car as well. I mean,
I don't think he was best pleased, to be fair.
Well, he shouldn't have said it then, should he?
Well, no. But no one gives us a chance. We didn't give ourselves a chance, but it did brilliantly.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. That's brilliant. Well, thanks for the info and the backstory about this amazing little Austin A35.
Like it's not been on.
There's the fantastic Crossley. What a magnificent car, and this is highly appropriate today because the owner of the Crossley Motor Car Company used to live at Combermere Abbey and own the estate just over the back over there. Oh, fantastic is that. It's been a few years since I've seen that out and about. And here's that super little MG midget alongside the A35, a Lancia Fulvia, front wheel drive Lancia Fulvia. Apparently I was told the other day at Tatton Park that these peaks, these little extra hooded bits over here, was in order to raise the lamps up a little bit, suitable for the UK market, and apparently also South Africa. So thanks to the Citroen owning chap that I was speaking to at Tatton, who I interviewed a little while ago about his Citroen Ami. That apparently is the story behind these little raised peaks on some of the Fulvias that we see at the various shows that we get to. This is the 1.3S, and there's the S-Series TVR and the little Wolseley running over the end there. Let's go and have a look at that incredible Crossley. Like I say, the family of the Crossley family used to live just over there behind those trees on the Combermere estate. And if you remember one of the videos I did a little while ago talking about the other field just over the other side of the road over there, that was their little private airfield where they used to fly a little biplane from. Yes, it is, yes, it's a magnificent car. I haven't seen this for years. What a fantastic car this is. 1927, is it?
It might be 26 actually.
Yeah.
Short-term memory loss.
Very distinctive radiator shape. Beautiful nickel plating as well. Isn't that just stunning?
Really?
My youthful assistant approves of this one. Yeah, magnificent interior.
It'd probably be quite smooth to drive, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it would be, wouldn't
Big
it?
six-cylinder, yeah.
Oh, proper vintage saloon. Super fitted Brooks trunk on the back as well. Look how it curves to follow the D shape, which was pretty common on cars of this era. Lovely. A very smart Triumph Stag Mark II on the end of the row here alongside the 205 GTI. Great to see these two Austin Healey sprites together. So that's the Mark I Sprites, the Frog Eye Sprite as it was called. Came up with a 948cc engine on twin carbs, very similar to the A35 engine in many ways, the A series. And this is the later shape car. I think this is probably a Mark III because it's got the wind-up windows. The first of the new shape sprites and midgets that came out had separate side screens like the Mark I next to it. So I'm guessing this is a Mark III. But great to see the two of them together here today at Combermere. Next to the TR4A on the original steel wheels and hubcaps is this lovely MGA again on the old steel wheels with hubcaps. Yeah, it's really, really nice to see these two here. And this fantastic little Morgan has arrived. This is a regular here at Combermere and it's great to see it here today alongside that glorious Riley Lynx. That's in northern Portugal. It's a good car museum there actually.
The owner of this car has a very, very simple and of course he has two. He has one boat.
Some particularly sizable front brakes on this magnificent Crossley. I'm really surprised just how large they are. Crossleys of course were built in Manchester. Yeah, four-wheel brakes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they did a lot of military vehicles in the First War and the Second World War actually.
But yeah, after the second, so it says just a 38 there.
Right, yeah, there weren't too many I don't think after that date.
Well, maybe none, I don't know.
Off goes the Rolls-Royce. That's whisper quiet. Silver shadows off. Good to see that one here today. The Lotus Esprit S2. Superb post-war Daimler's heading off as well now. Very nice, very swish looking motor car. Looks like this incredible Jensen and the MGB alongside are heading off back home. Automatic gearbox, these were all autos. Bonnet's up on this very intriguing little Ford Model Y. So there's the little 8 horsepower Ford engine. If that's the original engine, it's 933cc. It's different carb on it compared to original. You've got a tiny little air cleaner here. It's been upgraded to an alternator instead of a dynamo. Yeah, because usually the dynamo would sit on the top of the engine over there.
It's one interesting air cleaner.
Yeah, no water pump on these, it's just thermo siphon for the cooling. And this little pin here, you use that when you're setting the ignition timing. So that you unbolt that, and you turn it round and you poke this sort of long bit back in there and you turn the engine over. When you start setting the timing, when it drops into a little indent inside, that is when you start setting the ignition timing. And the dizzy's just on the top of the head up there. It's all fairly easy to get at. There's a fantastic little Fiat Abarth 595. Today's cargo in the back of the truck is this lovely old 30s fairground ride car. Clearly this was a one-off made by someone handy with a bit of wood and a hammer. And how it survived all these years, probably 90 years, is anyone's guess. I found this in the Autojumble area at the Tatton Park Classic Car Show quite a few years ago now. Probably the best part of 20 years ago now. It's just a bonny little thing. It spends most of its time in the garage, so I thought it'd be nice to give it a bit of an airing today. And there's that great little Ford going. There goes the Cadillac, left-hand drive, Pininfarina design. Just notice the little Pininfarina badges on the side. There's that magnificent Crossley. And there goes that stunning E-Type. Well, car of the meet. It's a bit of a tough call. I was fond of that magnificent old Crossley, but I think it has to go to this super original, super patina Riley Lynx. What a fantastic car that is. And we've seen some really lovely cars today. Slightly smaller meet compared to some of the previous ones, but it's no bad thing for that. I think we'll set sail ourselves now. It's been a really interesting meet, especially now we've got this pre-1990 criteria for this particular meeting. I'm sure it'll happen again at some point in the future. So thanks, as always, to the organisers of this particular event, because if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't happen at all. So bye for now. Off goes the Escort, and off goes the Riley.